I smile, but her contempt is soul-crushing. I promise I'm only here to ask her non-insipid questions. I have some photos from 1925, and if she remembers where they were taken or can confirm who was in the photos with her, it could make all the difference for my film project. Yeah, that is the reason you're here, or the reason I overheard you babbling about at the front desk. Her judgmental gaze skims over my perfectly groomed dreadlocks, my stylish but plain white tee, my faded jeans, and my expensive loafers. My shoulders tense. The examination feels too thorough. Can she tell I'm not wearing socks? You're from Hollywood. The sneer in her voice is buzzworthy. I wiggle my fingers. Come see, come sa. I'm more Los Angeles. Well, Santa Monica, to be precise, than Hollywood, I say in my defense. What tipped you off to my roots? I told you. I heard you at the front desk. Turning slightly, she peers into the room. At least you're not one of those obnoxious people from the networks who visit once a year to gawk at her. Once a year? Why? On her birthday. They come to see if she can still eat, talk, or hear. Blue Scrubs gestures with an angry flip of her wrist. I wince. I want to talk about her life in 1925 and show her some photos. I may also record her, take an oral history of sorts. Her gaze is resolute. As long as you remember she's not a freak show. Just because she's lived longer than most and kept her wits about her doesn't mean people like you should use her as a ratings boost or clickbait. I sigh, exasperated by all the negativity directed at me. And I don't even know her name. I should introduce myself. I'm Sawyer Hayes, the ugly American filmmaker. I smile. She doesn't. My obscure reference is just that, obscure. But I had hoped for a smile or a less pained expression. It is a 1963 Marlon Brando flick. I'm a classic movie buff. I'm Lula Kent. She extends a hand, and we awkwardly shake, touching fingertips only. I'm a nurse's assistant here. Miss Kent, or may I call you Lula? The go-to-hell expression answers my question. Okay then, Miss Kent. I only need a few minutes of her time. Her side eye is a steel blade cutting across my face into my chest. Now what do I do? Who gave you permission to visit Miss Honoree? I missed that part when I was eavesdropping at the reception desk. I like her for admitting to the flaw of nosiness, but I need a second to think. Truth is, my grandmother isn't aware of my trip to Chicago, let alone my visit to the Bronzeville Senior Living Facility, or that I borrowed a few items from her long-ago box, my nickname for the storage bin she keeps in her attic. From the look in Lula's eyes, I can't dodge the question. I have to say something. I nod toward the woman in the bed. My grandmother has been paying her expenses since 1985. I think the receptionist felt obligated to let me in. Lula cranes her neck. Mrs. Margaret Hendrickson is your grandmother? Yes, and Honoree's guardian angel, you might say. Lula visibly grits her teeth. Her name is Miss Dalcour or Miss Honoree. It is disrespectful to call your elders by only their first names, especially when you've never been introduced. She returns to her cart and wraps her fingers around the handlebar, thinking about my throat, I imagine. Don't stay too long, she orders. Miss Honoree needs her rest.
Chapter 2. Honoree. Friday, October 23rd, 1925. Chicago. Honoree Dalcour sashayed into the basement of Miss Hattie's Garden Café a little after 7 o'clock in the evening. A squirrel-collared coat hung over her arm, and a box purse dangled from her wrist. Weaving through crates of bootleg whiskey and burlap bags of sweet potatoes, she swung her hips with an extra oomph. It made